Hello, welcome everyone back to the Black Brain Trust.
All
This is
right.
episode 98, Cyber Monday, Future of Blockchain. I'm here with my co-facilitator, Lionel.
Hello, everyone. How y'all doing today? How you doing, Mike?
I'm chilling, brother, yourself.
I'm good.
All right, your mic sounds better.
Roger that.
All right. So, for those of you who want to follow along, the docket is actually in the description below the video, and we will get started. Let me pull this up quick. All right, this first video is from TRT World, and they are discussing South African coding school. They have an academy in South Africa for coding development for for the youth. And one of the things I found very interesting about this video was that they brought up a lot of ideas in such a short amount of time in the interview. And they said competition um, forces creativity, and that's something that we discuss here on the Brain Trust all the time, which is why we have the Brain Trust. Is we take information that's very complex and try to disseminate it for everybody else, and it forces us to think on a higher level. So they're thinking along the same lines that we're thinking along, and they're preparing kids for the fourth industrial revolution by using coding to solve their problems in their own community. Almost bar for bar, everything that we've just been discussing since the start of the Brain Trust, they're talking about it in South Africa. So we're not that far from where our goals are and our objectives are currently. I know you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, this is very nice. This is excellent. I, I, I'm all for this. Um, Getting them started early by the time they uh, and adults.
I know you're. I know I know your mic is breaking up really, really bad. Your connection is bad.
See, I'll mute up.
All right. If you can, try to restart your phone. If you haven't done so already. But yeah, back to the article. Free coding classes. This is something that you don't typically see in most urban environments in America. So they're on the right track. They're preparing these, preparing these people for the next thing in the next 5 years. They're not talking about, um, they're not talking about 20 years from now, 30 years from now. They're talking about next 5 years. This is where the market is going to be. This is what you're going to need, and going forward, it's going to be beneficial for them. So if you have a whole bunch of software developers, software engineers, and uh, at your leisure, that's going to create a new economy within that environment. Although it's poor, it's going to bring a lot of opportunities for them on the ground. They can create their own opportunities on the ground as well. They're talking about fourth industrial revolution. We've been banging the drum on this for a while, if not 6 months. For what 98 episodes now. So um, they have issues with water. South Africa has a major drought, lighting issues, and then you're talking about autonomous vehicles and things of that nature, transportation issues, micro transportation, blockchain, all these areas of focus that we talk about is actually going to be beneficial for them in the long run.
Am I coming in clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, everything that you just said, I agree with you. I back that up.
Mhm.
It's very beneficial.
Yeah, I mean, we bang the drum every week, and it can't stress it enough. I mean, we sound like a broken record, but you know, we have to put emphasis behind the necessity behind getting this stuff into your lexicon, your portfolio.
Mm.
Yeah, this makes me want to take a trip right over there and just see what they're doing on the ground. I like
Yeah.
to see things like that.
Mm. Um, eh, I would love to just rent out a storefront property or something like that,
Mhm.
and just offer classes after school for free, as much as long as I could,
Mhm.
and see who comes. Mhm.
Now, see, in Boston, we have something called Code Academy. Not Code Academy. What do you call that? The Boston Public Library actually has these classes set up already. Um, and at the end of the class, you get like a Google Chromebook too. So
Mhm.
it, the infrastructure is there for us. So I can't speak for the rest of the country, but it's there for us.
Okay.
All right, let me move on to the next article. All right, this one is from NewYorkTimes.com. How cheap labor drives China's AI ambitions. Some of the most critical workers, some of the most critical work in advancing China's technology goals takes place in the former cement factory in the middle of the country's heartland. Far from inspiring Silicon Valleys of Beijing and Shenzhen, an idle concrete mixer still stands in the middle of the courtyard. Boxes of melamine dinnerware are stacked in the warehouse next door. Inside, Ho Shimang runs a company that helps artificial intelligence make sense of the world. 2 dozen young people go through photos and videos labeling just about everything they see. That's a car, that's a traffic light, that's bread, that's milk, that's chocolate. That's what it looks like when the person walks. I used to think the machines are geniuses, Miss Howell 24 said. Now I know we are the reason they're for their geniuses. So what they're talking about is um, there is this new immediate demand for people in the IT sector, or the technology sector, I should say, for labor identifying objects for artificial intelligence. So a lot of people think that artificial intelligence is smart out the gate. It is not. It has to be taught. So there's a lot of identifying of objects for artificial intelligence that allows for the AI to make a distinction between what's a stop sign versus what's a do not enter sign. Um, a stop sign actually has is a hexagon, and a stop sign is a actual. I mean, a do not enter sign is a square. So you have to have some way of determining what the difference is, and that's where human element comes in and feeds data to to the AI itself, and the AI actually learns it. I know you have anything you want to add to this?
Yeah, this is interesting because a couple of weeks ago we went over an article which was talking about how they were doing the same thing with in Kenya, how they were uploading things and not labeling them, but outlining them.
Hmm.
And when you have cheap labor like this, you're able to get a lot of things done at a fraction of the cost compared to if you were to do it in America. It's beneficial because they're able to get a lot of things done, which in turn leaves America behind. The in turn leaves America behind which in turn leaves America behind the uh, the curve in terms of these technologies, AI, autonomous vehicles, so forth and so forth. Hello?
Yeah, I hear you. You're actually clear too. I think what the article is saying is that it's driving cheap labor. It is driving cheap labor because you don't really need a high skill set for it, but it allows you to get into IT, right?
Mm,
So now you're dealing with computers, you're dealing with um, the the data engineering portion, right? You're taking pieces of data from objects and then you're translating it into what it is for the AI. So you're feeding this information to the computer manually,
hmm
and it's allowing the computer to learn as well. So you're actually teaching the computer rather than the computer teach you, which is something that hasn't been done in quite a few decades.
Yeah, yeah. And this is how the computer gets its in terms of the AI and people thinking it's genius. Like you said, it needs to be feed that data to be told, hey, that's a stop sign. That's
Mm-hmm.
how a person walks, and that's this that.
Mm-hmm. And the article actually points out that China wants to be the leader in AI by
Mm,
2030, which is only about 12 years from now. So you're talking about in two presidential cycles, they're looking to dominate, right? Russia's President Vladimir Putin said earlier this year that whoever controls AI controls the world, and Putin actually put a investment into Russian millennials to learn um, coding, so that they
mhm,
can actually partake in the technology industry in terms of artificial intelligence because they don't plan on being left behind. And Russia has a pretty strong STEM STEM market in their country, despite the fact that they have sanctions on them by the United States and the European Union.
mhm. This is some good stuff.
Hmm.
Um, just by following this and listening to this channel, you
Hmm.
learn how this AI gets its intelligence. You learn how autonomous to identify objects and people and other things, and it takes away the oh, I can't do that. That's just too high level. That type of stigma, and it it helps people that listen to this who don't know about this who would like to get into it. It helps them say, hey, wow, that's it. I can get into this. Y- You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah.
It's not hard.
Right. And I personally don't have any problem with them exporting these jobs out to Africa and to places like Kenya and South Africa for people to actually have jobs in IT.
Mhm,
I see nothing wrong with that. Is it a low wage job? Yes. Is it a job getting your feet wet and as an entry level? Yes. So this isn't long term. This is a very short term. You get in, you learn the process, take the skill set with you, move on to the next opportunity.
mhm. Yeah, it helps you get the knowledge and the information and the know-how, the
Right.
experience.
Right. And a lot of people don't know that this is a data analysis job, data engineering, data science, um, data architecture. This is what these are the
Mhm.
building blocks of it. So this is where you get your feet wet.
Yeah, the beginning stages. And you know what? This is exciting to me because we're looking at this transition, and we're obviously I'm taking classes, and you are already knee deep in
Hmm.
these type of industries, and other people that we have on the show, they know about it, and the people that are looking at it from the chat, hopefully we um, give put them in the mind of going for these type of certifications or degrees or classes or learning how to code. But we're seeing this transition in real time to the things we've been talking about for months.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Move on to the next article. All right, this one is from New China TV. Robot sweeper picks pepper in 24 seconds. Basically, this is the trial of a robot picking agriculture for for a farm, for potential massive farms.
Mhm.
And one of the things I find interesting is that it's actually a lot more efficient than what it's let out to be. Although it's slow right now, it's only slow because it's in the early stages. There's some software that actually goes with it to help it identify the height and what the object is before, so it doesn't just pick a branch versus the fruit or the vegetable itself. A lot of people don't realize that these low wage jobs, manual labor jobs, these things might be going away in the next 10 years. So, the people working at Walmart, people working at Best Buy, picking putting boxes on shelves and, you know, uh, um, picking up the fruity pebbles and aligning them, making sure that they're neat and stuff like that. There's a robot that's going to take that job sometime soon.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. I was just about to say that because as I look, it was just picking peppers, literally what it was designed to do, and that's all it does. And the people kind of know who that are hired to do this. Hey man, we ain't got no job for you.
Hmm.
And like you said, these low wage jobs that are easy to get. Hey, you ain't no job, do this. Something that'll you a job that's used as a stopgap until you get a better job. Those are going to be gone. And even the jobs that just get to these restaurant jobs, like a rites of passage things, they're going to be gone. So,
Hmm.
and it's a lot of those jobs in the job sector that are filled now, and you got these robots taking these jobs, stacking a shelf stacker, things like that.
Hmm.
That's going to be gone.
Yeah, yeah, and a lot of people aren't prepared as to what to do with your next opportunity. I mean, I saw on YouTube before that there was a street sweeper that was automated.
Ooh,
So now you don't have a person driving a street sweeper anymore. This street sweeper can go around cars and actually sweep the street.
and
It doesn't.
yeah, yeah, and actually sweep the streets instead of just going down, like you said.
Hmm. Yeah, so all those guys who are out there with dustpans and brooms and trash bags, them days are over, man. In the next 10 years or so, them days are over.
It's gonna be bad.
Labor like that is not going to stick around for very long.
It's gonna be bad, man. That's gonna be, and that's why you can't sit around here on YouTube talking trash. You wasting your time, man. Do
Hmm.
something. Listen to this show and other shows like it, preferably this show, to get you in the right mind frame to do other things to set yourself up in the future, because this next calendar decade, when I say calendar decade, the 2020s, it's gonna be rough for a lot of people.
Hmm.
Mm,
There's going to be a mass wave of layoffs. You just won't need those people anymore. I mean, you can protest if you're in a union, but that doesn't,
that ain't gonna do nothing.
no, because your days are numbered anyways. You should have been thinking about how to get out of that position rather than I'm gonna ride this until until I collect unemployment or until I collect my pension. Ain't no pensions now.
Right? Yeah, yeah. It's no guarantee that the pension's gonna be there until uh, till you die, basically, because people are living longer, and nobody's gonna want to pay a pension until somebody turn 95. You retire at 30, well, at 65, and you die at 95. That means that's a career worth of pension. It's gonna be hard, if you think about it, you start working a job, you work there for, that's gonna be rough, man.
You got autonomous vehicles coming. GM's talking about
Yes.
2019. All these guys who drive for Uber and Lyft, your days are
Uh,
numbered.
Out of here, son, for real.
Hmm
And
All,
did you see that? Go ahead.
no, all those guys who on the way at the Piggly Wiggly and Stop and Shop and stuff like that, and help people, take their groceries and drive them home for like a gypsy cab.
Hmm.
So it's over.
Did you see the email I sent out about that? What guy said on the on on that blockchain course I'm taking.
Yes.
That is a great investment, but who's really gonna be thinking about that? Who's really gonna be setting themselves up to put themselves in that position? And also, it tells you the state of the transportation in this country a decade from now.
hmm
Those, rent and that 457 big block motor, it's you might not want to buy that right now. I'm just saying. But I've even told people about, hey man, you may want to get in the trucking industry to have the skill to deliver cars. But I guess it's because when you know a person for so long and they really never talk like that, but now they talking like this, you don't take them seriously. But again, setting yourself up.
hmm I mean, can we actually, or can anybody make a case for say that the AI is racist, like, or that the robots are racist because they're not allowing black and brown people to have jobs because they're taking the jobs from them and they're discriminating? I mean, at what point do you stop and say, okay, I can't blame the pale skinned man, so I got to figure out a way to actually get on my grind. Like, what was you doing all that time? You're 35, 40 years old. What was you doing?
Hmm. Get we need to start acting like adults and start this childish bickering on online and in reality of um just so much unadult acting. It's just, sometimes I see people. I'm like, I try to talk to them, just simple things, and they just don't know. It's
Mhm.
uh, I don't know what to say, man.
I do. Move on to the next article.
Roger that.
All right, this one is from nextweb.com. Siemens wants to change the way we share energy with blockchain. I'll read the first couple of paragraphs. Industrial giant Siemens is the latest corporation to make moves in the blockchain space. The company has announced it intends to use the technology to bring innovation to the energy sector and give more power to the people. The usual yet to be proven decentralized rhetorics. For the time being, the company is limiting its blockchain experiment to two divisions only: energy management and power generation services. With this move, Siemens hopes to find new ways to store energy and develop a more efficient management system for energy networks. Siemens aims to proactively shape the future of blockchain based transactive energy applications, new prosumer centric use cases, as well as business models around operation of distributed energy systems, microgrids, and financing. This is interesting.
Hmm.
For people who don't know, Siemens is like the GE of Europe. We in America we have General Electric, but Siemens is like the European version. So the way they're looking at utilizing blockchain, especially with something I noticed in the quote, is that microgrids and financing. So microgrids, right? You're talking small solar plants, solar power plants, right? And you're talking about the financing aspect. So they're thinking about potentially their own tokens, and they're also thinking about small, high efficient green technologies to manage through blockchain. I think that's a very good use case. What about you?
Okay, so what we're if I got this right. What we're talking about here, the micro aspect of this.
Mhm.
So you got blocks of neighborhoods, So, or even how about this? You have communities. You in Boston, you have the Roxbury community and so forth and so forth. Chicago, we got Roseland, Inglewood, and all that. So you potentially have these communities that are producing their own through whatever means.
Mhm.
So, and let's say the next community over is having a hard time with satisfying their energy needs, so that community can sell energy to the next community over. Is this what is this what they talk about microfinancing with through power and all?
Yeah, to a certain extent. I probably wouldn't use the United States, but I would probably use something like Puerto Rico that doesn't have a modern grid, right? So part of Puerto Rico's problem is that their grid is old and it doesn't really serve well. So you have one grid that powers up a good portion of the island, but when that grid goes down due to a hurricane or some other natural disaster, um, everybody's offline, right?
Hmm.
So how do you deliver power in small portions? You have to set up these wind turbines. That's which is what the discussion has been about. So in this application, you would actually put residents on the blockchain itself to push that power to them. And in that management of that power, what I'm thinking is that they can determine who's utilizing how much power, right? And then they can charge you back as well as serve you with delinquency of payment or something like that, or overconsumption of use of of electricity, right? So they can properly manage it before you. I mean, now you can somewhat manage it, but it's so cumbersome. It requires a lot of infrastructure, whereas blockchain itself is just one piece of infrastructure.
I got you. I got you. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Uh, as we know, it's more efficient also.
right. Because you can sell energy back to the grid too. If energy that's not utilized or underutilized, you can actually sell it back to the grid, and they can give
Hmm.
you a break on it, a tax break on it, or and what they call energy credits. Those
Uh,
energy credits will become tokens.
I like this, but it's in Europe, so
No, Siemens is in the United States too. Yeah, there's a
okay.
Siemens in every state. Siemens actually makes a lot of the trains and stuff like infrastructure and stuff like that. So big high energy, not high energy, but high voltage products. Siemens actually makes. They're actually cheaper than GE.
I like this. This is very interesting because not only are we hearing it, okay, it's one thing to hear it, understand, and say, "Wow, that's pretty interesting." I can see how that will save people money and make people money, but when it's applied, then it blossoms out to all these different ways people are using this. Then you really see the scope, the grand scope, the grandioseness of this.
Mhm.
You know, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole lot you can do with that. You can sell the energy, to a corporation, or you can sell it to back to the grid. The grid can resell it back to those who need it. They can follow all that stuff on the blockchain.
Mm,
They can look at the metrics.
yes. Oh,
And the thing is, you can use artificial intelligence to actually make that determination. So based on consumption and based on availability, it can make a determination and say, okay, it's 120 degrees outside because the heat wave. Um, this this house actually doesn't utilize as much energy because it's probably a Airbnb home or something like that. So therefore, there's no need to deliver energy to that house. Let's reroute that energy back to a person who's actually a permanent resident, a senior citizen, or something to that effect. So there's a whole
mm,
lot of ways you can manipulate the technology for energy use.
yeah. This is some great information. And I like that the different technologies that we talk about are converging together in certain certain ways.
Hmm.
make industries better or to make something better?
Yeah, I mean, now you're talking about before you would have been a some kind of oil or gas tycoon to actually create your own corporation, your own energy corporation. Now you're talking about buying 100, um, buying 100 solar panels and networking them together and actually creating your own energy grid.
Hmm.
And now you're the master and the landlord of your own energy corporation.
Mm, that's amazing. I like that.
Yeah, yeah, you can do that. I mean, in Massachusetts, we have like the side of the highways. I think I discussed that before. The side of the highways actually have these
Hmm.
empty spots that don't have any vegetation on it. And what they've done is they've dropped solar panels all across the highway. So you
Yeah.
have these massive, massive grids, like 50 to 100 yards of solar panels set up and actually delivering all this energy. Well, I mean, where it's going, I have no idea what they do with it, how they manage it. I don't know all the details to it, but it's already established. So you got miles and miles of random random lots or parcels of solar panels. They basically created their own grid on
Hmm.
each portion of the highway.
That's outstanding.
Hmm.
Outstanding.
All right, let's move on to the next article. CCN.com, Malta. Does yours blockchain island really live up to the hype? Malta, the blockchain island, a postage stamp sized nation nestled in the Mediterranean, famous for its rocky coastline, uh, Baroque cathedrals, uh, megalithic megalithic temples, and centuries of culture. It's a veritable mishmash of graying British expats, luxurious hotels, exotic women, cars that drive on the left, and a host of other legacies left by the various civilizations that invaded the rock over the years. Sounds like Africa.
Hmm.
In more recent times, however, Malta has become famous for more than its rich heritage. It's made a welcoming home for the iGaming sector, a booming industry worth around $1.4 billion, 12% of Malta's GDP. In the face of a long and drawn out European crisis and deficits year after year, Malta was finally able to register a surplus of 182 million euros for 2017. It's its second year in a row. And the country is being talked about in blockchain regulatory circles for its progressive stance on cryptocurrencies and even rebranding as the blockchain island. Its government is open minded, and its Prime Minister Joseph Muscat gave a compelling speech to the United Nations about how countries should work together to solve world's problems. However, Malta has a few problems of its own and a less than impeccable past when it comes to very sticky issues, money laundering among them. So, it's a pretty long article, but I just wanted to get straight to the point. When asked about significance of this when asked about the significance of this for Malta and the crypto community in general, Steve Trend, Steve Tendon, blockchain strategist and member of Malta's National Blockchain Task Force, said it will be the first time it will be the first event ever where Malta's intention to recognize legal personality to the innovation to the innovative technology arrangements like DAOs will be presented to a broad international audience. This is a this is the innovation in lawmaking that will support innovation like no other law has ever done. Malta didn't just pass three laws, as the headline tend to focus on. They have a whole national blockchain strategy penned by Tendon with six pillars that show deep understanding of the technology and where it's going. It covers initiatives like moving public registries to the blockchain, e-residency and digital identity, and smart governance. So they're basically driving their whole entire society, um, their I shouldn't say the society, but their public infrastructure around blockchain. So you know, digital identity, e-residency, public registries, all that
Mm.
stuff is being focused around the latest of technology without actually um, being challenged by anybody for the most part. They have a whole task force, as mentioned in the article.
Hmm.
I know you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, this is interesting. I've been hearing about Malta and its push to, and we just discussed this on the show about how Malta and its push to become a blockchain city, or and to be cryptocurrency friendly, and to attract all these cryptocurrency companies, um, exchanges, and blockchain businesses because of the taxes, and just to put Malta on the map in terms of this whole technology. Per the article, it yeah, it's good to say that, and some companies have gone there, but then there's that sleazy underbelly, prostitution. Malta's in the middle of the Mediterranean, of the Mediterranean. This whole thing with cryptocurrency investors of hollering Lambo season, so you got all these exotic cars there. So you have that mix there. Yes, there are businesses and people that are doing legit business and so forth, but then you got that sleazy underbelly that's there, that makes you feel dirty. The only other city that I know that is making a push to be 100% blockchain dependent is Dubai. They have the Smart Dubai initiative, Smart Dubai 2021, where they're going to put the whole governance on blockchain to make things more uh, to make things more what's what I'm looking for, efficient. And that's the only other city that I know this is pushing as hard or harder than Malta to put the whole city on the blockchain, the
Mm-hmm.
whole to put everything on blockchain.
Yeah, I think California sounds like the only U.S. state that's really talking blockchain in terms of advancement. Um, I don't know any other. I haven't heard of any other United States state actually doing this, but definitely everyone else is advancing over us due to the bureaucratic measures. So
Hmm. And we're talking about paying whatever fees you have to pay to the city. We're talking about having stoplights on the blockchain. We're talking about redoing your licenses, paying tickets, um, yeah, everything that can be put on the blockchain in terms of being more efficient, streamlining it, is going to be put on there. And like we just said, Malta, and like I just said, Dubai, and Mike just said California. And I'm pretty sure there's a few other cities sprinkled in between. I thought I heard somewhere in India, but they're taking it serious, and they see the benefits of this.
this is where the jobs are going.
Blockchain, baby.
Yes. All right, we'll move on to the next article. All right, this one is from Cointelegraph. Blockchain could speed up the economy, says Nigerian presidential candidate. The presidential candidate of Nigeria's leading opposition party has promised to support blockchain and cryptocurrencies. Local news outlet The Daily Post article reported on November 24th. Nigerian news outlet reportedly analyzed the People's Democratic Party (PDP) candidate Atu Akbar's Abu Abu Bakar's "Get Nigeria Working Again" um, policy that policy that he reportedly promised to enact if he was elected president. Daily reports Daily Post reports that the document that the politician declared that he aims to speed up the economy positively through blockchain and cryptocurrency. So what we're seeing now is that again, we just saw recent elections in the United States last couple of weeks ago, where politicians are actually utilizing these talking points of blockchain and cryptocurrencies, and actually to get um, more support on the ground, vote wise, for their candidacy. And you're seeing this happen right now, even in Nigeria. So people are actually having these discussions on the ground about blockchain, what its use can be, what its use cases are, and things of that nature, and how it can improve, um, how it can improve the market, or the local economy on the ground.
Yeah, these conversations need to be had. I commend the this the president, not the elect. I won't say elect, but he's running for president. I commend him bringing this to the table to because the youth of not only Africa but Nigeria is mainly millennials. So these are the people that's going to be interested in this new technology, and I commend him for bringing that these type of talks to the table, letting people know that okay, I am for this. Um, Other countries be may not want to have these talks or don't even think about it, but I really do commend this man for um, at least bringing it to the table.
Again, we talk about blockchain, and that's the new career.
Hmm. And it's so many avenues you can go to. Yeah, this is excellent, man.
All right, this next article is from Forbes.com. Blockchain 3.0 and COTI, next generation technology without mining. I can't stand these pop-ups, man. The blockchain is changing, with several new protocols currently being tested and which look to be changing the system as we know it. The latest incarnation is what is being termed as blockchain 3.0. A new company called Cody has designed a new blockless, minerless blockchain, which they claim solves the scalability issues of cryptocurrencies and makes Bitcoin look slightly backwards. Cryptocurrencies were introduced to make payments cheaper, faster, secure, and easier. Arguably, they've done anything but so. The time and money it takes for miners to confirm transactions means that Bitcoin transactions can conduct 3 to 5 transactions per second, and Ethereum marginally better at 15 transactions per second. It's a clear problem if we expect millions to use cryptocurrencies for their everyday shopping, not to mention the nightmare of wallet address and energy consumption to code. Cody architect a new blockchain based on DAG, direct acyclic graph protocol. DAG DAG are blockless blockchains the miners are no where there are no miners or blocks. Graphs are acyclic in nature and flow in a specific direction, which means that the transactions cannot be duplicated and can confirm themselves automatically based on previous transactions. Therefore, there are no miners to spend time and charge fees to code confirm transactions, allowing for virtually real time and low cost crediting of funds for other parties' wallets. So, Cody, which is a country I haven't heard of before, Lionel, you know anything about this?
No, it's my first time actually coming in contact with this information.
Yeah, reading the whole article actually opened up my mind to a lot of possibilities with the blockchain and what they're doing with it. Um, Proof of work, proof of stake, of how they manage it. Um, it's just very interesting take on how they manage blockchain and how they developed it. It seems a lot more efficient. They're talking about 10,000 transactions per second.
Mm. That's up there with these is up there or close to these credit card transactions. They do what 50,000 transactions a second,
Mhm.
50 to 100,000 transactions a second. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Allegedly, it does that, but I mean, I think that's the theoretical, right? So
mm,
I think what they're talking about with blockchain 3.0 is its scalability is vastly better than Bitcoin. Bitcoin
mm,
only does 3 to 5, and where they're doing 10,000.
yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. It does. They do make Bitcoin looks archaic, and Bitcoin just made 10 years old this past Halloween, which goes to show the frequency of and the speeds at which these technologies being updated and pushed forward. Now you have a blockchain 3.0. These new coins that are coming out that's going to utilize all of this past technology to make them better. It's something, man. It's up there, man.
Yeah, this is a game changer. We talk about blockchain all throughout the beginning of this hangout, and um, can't stress enough that you need to understand the blockchain. You have to have some kind of digital literacy behind this. Need to learn how to code in Python, JavaScript as well, because you can actually create blockchain through JavaScript, through web pages. Um, yeah, understand infrastructure, cloud,
Mhm.
cybersecurity, IoT, and Internet of Things, networking. All of this stuff matters. So
Matters a lot. It's like you said, we can't stress how much it matters. Maybe bringing somebody else on to have them explain how much it matters, but maybe get in there, man. Get in there. Goodness,
mhm.
do something. Where everybody at? Nobody's coming online.
Now, I think the other hangouts going on right now with O'Shea and Obsidian. Um, yeah, and I mean we talk about blockchain a lot tonight, but make sure you show up Friday for our Black IT Summit, Information Technology Summit. We're gonna be going in deeper on that night. So all
Hmm. Yes, yes.
right, so share the screen. Jump to the next article. All right, this one is from Forbes.com. What the cloud will look like in 10 years. I can't stand these pop-ups. 10 years ago, the world economy was mirrored by in a financial crisis. But for Dan Sachs, he was optimistic and launched his own startup called App Direct. His focus, you gotta be kidding me, man. His focus was on helping businesses leverage cloud applications. Now, the early days were not easy. Keep in mind that he spent much of his time in Europe selling his vision to telecom operators. But of course, the effort paid off in a big way. AppDirect has gone on to raise $246 million and has amassed a large customer base, which includes biggies like Comcast, ADP, uh, Deutsche Telekom. Yet success can be, I hate these stupid websites. Yes, yet success can be fleeting. So this is why Dan takes a long-term view of things. Let's face it, the cloud industry will look much different in the next 10 years. There will be there will probably be some well-known companies that were created along the way. I believe there will be a recession in the next several years, and in this downturn, the victims will likely be the traditional workers that don't have skills in the knowledge economy, said Dan. Many will be quick to blame technology and automation. In the next 10 years, there will be a transition from this predicted recession to an emergence of new trends in the cloud. There'll be less there'll be a less focus on cloud as a hot new technology as this technology will become commonplace. Terms like cloud and digital won't matter because they'll be so pervasive. There are already signs of this. New application and services are emerging based on specific verticals and geography, creating proliferation of apps everywhere, said Dan. What's interesting is the intersection of technologies that will continue to emerge as service enabled. So what what Dan's talking about here is the same thing we just got finished talking about the last article and what we've been talking about this whole entire hangout is that this
Hmm.
is where the market is going. This is the fourth industrial revolution: cloud, blockchain, cryptocurrencies, um, coding as a language, um, networking, uh, smartphones. Uh, we discussed earlier about artificial intelligence. China wants to be a leader in artificial intelligence by 2030. He's talking 10 years from now, so by 2028 or by 2029. this is exactly where the market is going and what needs to be done in terms of keeping up. And he just mentioned, let me scroll back up. I believe that there will be a recession in the next several years, and in this downturn, the victims will likely be the traditional workers that don't have the skills in the knowledge economy. We've been talking about this for 98 episodes.
Ad nauseum.
So yeah, till we're blue in the face, and we're black.
That's. Whew. But
So,
like, it's.
mhm,
I mean, you turned me on to this, and I'm taking classes and certifications and getting myself ready
mhm,
because I know, yeah, it's around the corner, but I got a little bit of time in terms of a head start. But as this thing as the heat get turned on, it's gonna become a bottleneck. People gonna like, I need to live, and this is where the economy is going. So I'm trying to get up in here.
mhm. Right, and you have guys like Jeff in the chat who's studying relational databases. That's where you need to be. I mean, although relational databases are one piece of the puzzle, 1/10 of the puzzle, he's still in the right direction. You got distributed networking technologies such as distributed databases on the blockchain. That's another portion of it. So there's a
Mhm.
whole lot that goes into it. Then you're talking about cloud, and then you're talking about data analytics, data science, data engineering, data architecture, uh, artificial intelligence. How artificial intelligence receives all this information comes from data science. Data science comes from the collection of data, um, and parsing of the data, and cataloging the data. These are all soft jobs. Well, I shouldn't say soft jobs. These are all STEM jobs that are emerging that's going to be necessary in the next 5 years. Actually, it's necessary right now.
It's it's amazing how the things we talk about a few weeks later, we start to get reports in in the in the news about the things we talk about. It's amazing, man.
Hmm. Yeah, Christopher Sanders in the chat says CEH is my next cert. Cybersecurity is going to be big. I'm personally not a fan of CEH, but I agree with your assessment. Cybersecurity is going to be cybersecurity is the hardest market right now in terms of IT. Um, and then after that comes data science. So, and artificial intelligence, then blockchain and everything else. Yeah, he mentions IoT in the in the latter half of the article, the extension of Internet of Things (IoT), and then he mentions cybersecurity.
You can't be wasting your time out here with just people that talking about stuff, talking to all these women, man. You gotta, as our parents used to say, especially our grandparents, get your head in put your head in them books, go online to these websites, edx.org and other certifications, and just get, you focus on that because all that stuff's still gonna be around after you're done. Still gonna be around.
Yeah. So Christopher Sanders in the chat says CH is just my start. What do you suggest? Go for OSCP. That's what you want. You want OSCP. Look it up. IoT is going to be a shit show. Could you elaborate on what you're on why you're saying that? But yes, for instead of CEH, I would definitely go for OSCP.
This is outstanding. I mean, and what do I say? I mean, it, the world in the next calendar decade is going to be different, and people are going to be listening to these shows like, man, them brothers said it, man. Them brothers talked about it, and hopefully everybody that's listening now in real time, especially after the the IT thing we have going on. really get your questions in. You can really get a path set in stone. And if you want to go to something, ask some questions. I know I'm be asking questions to get your path in order, man. Because we got a good 2 year head start. A good 2 year head start, man. You can do a lot in 2 years, man. As long as you do it. I mean, black men, hear me. Just hear me, man. It's gonna be live.
Mm.
It's exciting. It's exciting. Man, I'm smiling.
Yeah, I agree with Keep It Techie. Cyber is a great resource for training. Yep, it's cheap right now for Cyber Monday as well.
Mm.
Let me hit this one last article. Actually, we got a couple more articles, but I want to focus on this too. Talk about space. AssociatedPressNews.com, AP.com. With a smirk, official says Russia will verify moon landings.
Ooh.
The head of Russia's Roscosmos space agency has said a proposed Russian mission to the moon will be tasked with verifying that the American moon landings were real, though he appeared to be making a joke. Right. We set this objective to fly and verify whether they've been there or not, said Dmitry Rogozin in the video posted on Saturday on Twitter. Rogozin was responding to a question about whether or not NASA actually landed on the moon nearly 50 years ago. He appeared to be joking as he smirked and shrugged while answering. But conspiracies surrounding NASA's moon missions are common in Russia. The Soviet Union abandoned its lunar program in the mid 1970s after 4 experimental moon rockets exploded. So, what say you? Did the Americans really land on the moon or not?
This has been a topic of debate left and right. Pretty people got into fights about this debate. People in labs threatened about this debate. This was a major turning point in a lot of Americans, such as children, adults. People actually sat down and watched this on TV. It was a national thing. And I'm not saying if they did, I'm not saying if they didn't, I'm not saying, but uh, hey man, what do you say about this?
Well, I think we've been down this path before on these hangouts, on our space and technology hangouts. So I'll reiterate for the new listeners. Your cell phone today, your iPhone, your Android phone today has 10 times the amount of power, processing power that NASA had during the 1960s. So if NASA had the technology back then to send a man to the moon, how come they haven't been back to the moon since? So that's the question, right? So if they had that capability 50 years ago, how come they haven't replicated? Usually, technology, I think Moore's law is every 5 years or so. You start to see evolutionary changes in processing capabilities in technology, right? So you went from desktops to laptops, and from laptops um, to smartphones, right? And from smartphones to smartwatches. Why hasn't there been a recent moon landing if it was so easy back then with less technology? Where is where is the next flight? I mean, you don't even hear SpaceX talking about it. You don't hear um, uh, um, Blue Origins, Jeff Bezos talking about it. You don't hear Virgin Galactica talking about it. The Russians are the Russians are masters at rocketry. Um, the Americans actually use Russian rockets to get off the ground for the for the last 20 something years or so, and they haven't been able to replicate this either. Japan is actually really good at rocketry as well. They haven't been able to get up there either. So only one country is claiming to be have this capability, which is the United States, and yet we still have not seen them replicate it. Now they can invade a country. They can invade Afghanistan. They can invade Iraq.
No doubt.
They can put submarines in the ocean and sit down there for 30 days at a time. What happened?
Now, my thing is this. I've heard this said by the people at NASA that they lost either the information, well, I mean, the technology that got them to the moon, or they lost the records. I think it was the technology. They lost the technology that got them to the moon. Like it was lost.
Hmm.
That don't
What
sound.
where they lose it though? Is it like in the
Yeah,
is it like in the seams of the couch or something like that? Is it like where the coin is?
that don't sound too. Okay, you lost it, but you got this technology that we all know is our cell phones, the thing that we carry around every day, and the watches and smart watches are close to getting up there to that technology that it's 10 times better. So even though you lost it, the technology that we got now is still better than the technology you had then. And like you said, why wasn't there another mission to the moon?
Hmm.
Something's fishy here, man. I will say that.
It's not adding up, and that's really what it's coming down to. It's just not adding up. You can make all the excuses that you want to, but it. The Russians had lost 4 rockets going to the moon, and at least according to what Roscosmos said. So, what are the chances that the Americans have actually gotten up there again? Right? You had one opportunity to do it, and you did it. And they actually created a movie this summer called First Man, with a bunch of white men, a bunch of pale skinned men, you know, talking about going to the moon. And supposedly they dropped a flag there. They had a vehicle up there, and they were up there doing selfies before there was even cell phones.
Mhm.
Who took the selfie? You had two guys, one guy driving a Rover, and another guy saying one small leap for man and one giant leap for mankind. Who took the goddamn selfie?
Oh, who was outside the ship
Yeah,
already?
yeah.
Yes, a good point.
Yeah. I mean, what did he have? One of those selfie sticks?
That's a long selfie stick. That's
Who's
a good
bouncing
point.
around like that? I want to know who was bouncing around like that. Allegedly, they brought back moon rocks, but where are those moon rocks? Who's there to verify them now?
Hmm. Man, you blowing my mind like these flat earthers right now messing with you. But yeah, that's a good point, man. Who took the selfie? If it was a one small step, like the first steps, a man on the moon, then somebody had to get out first. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a head scratcher right there.
They didn't have camera technology back then to take those type of clear photos. Not back then. You didn't have DSLR cameras like that. DSLR cameras are a new concept. That's a new feature for camera technology.
The moon landing happened in what,
69.
69? Hmm. This is interesting.
And plus, you have time, distance, radiation you have to deal with.
Did you know that all of the planets in the solar system can fit between Earth and the moon? That's how far they're apart.
Hmm.
Like if you take Mercury, Venus, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, Neptune. and all that, that they fit in between the distance the moon is from the Earth,
Hmm.
and Jupiter and Neptune alone. Jupiter alone can fit um a
You mean the
thousand.
sun? You mean the sun?
Nah, between the moon and Earth.
I don't know about that.
I kid you not.
Because you're talking about Earth is can fit 30 or 40 times within Jupiter, right?
Yeah, something like that. I kid you not. I want to find a video because I looked at a sign.
But the
Go ahead.
distance is like what, 500,000 miles between Earth and Moon at its nearest point.
I hope I find a video. I'm trying to look through my history now. Oh man, watch I don't find this video. I hope I do. Hope I do. Now, what if that's okay? Now, let's say that's true. What would you think about that?
I mean, not really much to think about. I mean, if it's just a matter of distance, but at the same
It's a
time,
big difference. What? It's a big distance. That's what I'm trying to say.
it is a big distance. But at the same time, how did they didn't have the energy, right? You didn't have the rocket capabilities to take yourself there. It doesn't make any sense.
I think this is it.
I mean, what are they saying that it just doesn't make that much sense to say, we haven't been to the moon in this long, and we're going to do it now. Well, what the hell was you doing the last 50 years?
Yeah.
NASA actually has makes up 2% of the U.S. Budget, our national budget. I think it only uses like $19 billion. The defense industry actually uses 65 to 70% of the national budget. So it uses something like 600 $700 billion a year. They spend less on education than they do on NASA.
Hmm. That's what education they're doing now. So, hmm.
Well, Christopher Sanders in the chat says that you know, they did lose it when they transferred labs. Really?
When they what?
When they transferred labs.
Oh! That's when they lost it.
Hmm.
Somebody.
It was in a U-Haul truck, one of those Penske trucks, and they didn't clean it out, and it ended up back at U-Haul, in mom's attic or something like that.
Somebody forgot to pick up the box. Yeah, man. I'm trying to find a video, but yeah, all the planets in the solar system can fit between the distance between Earth and the moon. I'm trying to find a reputable uh, video that talks about that. Come on, the video I saw didn't really talk about. They talked about how big the different suns are in the solar system.
Hmm.
Like the biggest sun in the solar system is the size of New York City, and relative to that, Earth is a tennis ball. What is the distance?
Let me move on to this next article.
Yeah.
So this next article is from itnonline.com. Subtle medical showcases artificial intelligence for pet MRI scans at RSNA 2018. Uh, at 2018 Radiological Society of North America annual meeting, RSNA 2018. Uh, Chicago. Chicago subtle medical. This is like not. I think this is more of a press release. This doesn't really read as an article. Subtle medical will showcase subtle pet. Its artificial intelligence powered technology. Subtle pet allows hospitals and imaging centers to deliver faster and safer patient scanning experience, while enhancing exam throughput and provider profitability. The software is currently under U.S. U.S. Food and Drug Administration 510K review and pilot in use in multiple university hospitals imaging centers. It's a pretty long article that doesn't really. This is a press release. This is it's
Okay.
not an article.
Uh, medical show. Okay.
Yeah. We'll hit Christian's last article, and that will be it for tonight. Actually, we'll go over Cyber Monday. What kind of deals are available?
Oh yeah.
All right, Stripwire.com. Hackers automate the laundering of money via Clash of Clans. According to news report, popular smartphone games such as Clash of Clans are being used to launder hundreds of thousands of dollars on behalf of credit card thieves. Researchers at Chrome Securities describe how they first came across the money laundering ring in mid June when they analyzed an unsecured Mongo database. Mongo is a relational database. For those who don't understand this, the database which was freely accessible to the public without a password contained thousands of credit card details. However, the researchers quickly surmised that they had not stumbled across an all too familiar story of corporation being sloppy with its customers' data, but rather the database belonging to credit card thieves, commonly known as carders. And this particular gang was hoping to launder money stolen from these credit cards accounts through mobile games. This is why I don't put games on my phone. Um, I see no reason to pay to play. It doesn't make any sense. Um, Bubble Bopper and or Bubble Breaker, I should say, Candy Crusher. All these games are just worms, waiting to eat all your data and your sensitive information. So
Okay.
I don't play any of these games on my phone.
Okay. I know. Now I know they eat your data, but personal information. Okay.
Yeah, because if you see on the iPhone, it's a little different. They basically bypass a whole lot of permissions. So you install it, you're basically giving it permission to access to your camera, your storage on your phone, and things of that nature, your personal identifiable information (PII). Whereas on the Android phones, you have to actually give it permission. So it's going to request access to microphone, access to camera, access to SD card, your micro SD card, um, access to write information. So it's going to ask, and if you don't give it permission, then it can't access it.
Okay.
So that's a difference, critical difference between the platforms. But I don't put any of that shit on my phone. Period.
Okay. Well, now I know.
Hmm.
So I got the iPhone and it does ask me, access to your contacts and all that stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Next thing you know, you get emails from people that's in your contacts.
Hmm. Well,
Yeah.
it's actually probing all these contacts to actually solicit information to them. Right, and this is all a part of like consolidating data, right? So they're creating these data lakes that basically is information that's being dumped into there, and then they parse it, and then they catalog, and that's how you get data science.
Okay.
And then they engineer it in a way. They engineer it so that they can market. So that's how marketing. That's how you get spam.
Hmm.
And then the scientific portion is how they pitch ads to you, and how Amazon and the rest of these big companies actually are able to target you for certain advertisements. Same thing with YouTube too. YouTube makes its recommendations based on content that is relational to your other Gmail and Google subscribers as well. So
Okay. Okay. I see. I see. I see the picture. I see the picture. Okay.
mhm.
YouTube make recommendation to because it's connected to your Gmail account and the or you're contacting your Gmail account and what you look on YouTube, they make those same recommendations to those people.
Right, right. So
Okay.
if we're on this hangout right now, then um, what's going to happen is if I look at a motorcycle video or something like that, it's going to show up in your recommendations too.
Mm, gotcha. Gotcha. It's sly.
Yep, keep it techie. Keep it techie is saying in the chat that they sell all your data to the advertising companies. Yeah, data is a cash cow now. Data is a big cash cow. The companies pay big lump sums of money for data lakes. They want access to it.
That's interesting to know.
Yep, states are involved in this too. Florida, Texas, a lot of your red states that have that are hurting for money, they sell citizens' data. People who go to jail, people who get arrested, people who uh, what do you call that? Who got speeding tickets and stuff like that. They sell all that data. So data that the cities and the states collect um, through whatever means that they go about it, they actually sell it off to for private corporations like Amazon and whatever other marketing. Facebook is another one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Y'all kind of know Facebook do it. That's how they get the bulk of their money. Well, a lot of their money.
Yep, Cambridge Analytica,
And Cambridge Analytica is a what kind of company?
data analytics company.
Okay.
They're involved in dissemination of information of data lakes that they use for data mining purposes. Facebook has 1 billion users on it, and it needs a way to actually manage to parse all that data, and that's what Cambridge Analytica comes in.
So Cambridge Analytica, okay, the information that Facebook does this stuff, who who told the media about that?
They did.
So Cambridge Analytica just tricked just snitched on Facebook.
Somebody blew the whistle. It was a whistleblower.
Oh, okay, whistleblower. Gotcha. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean that's the. I mean, we talked about this earlier about where the jobs are, but that's where the jobs are now.
Yeah.
I mean, you could use artificial intelligence, but the problem is with artificial intelligence that it needs to be constantly fed information in order to learn. You can probably get a human to do that same work if you don't have the infrastructure set up. So that's why there's jobs.
There that the um that that information feed those jobs to feed artificial intelligence information, those may be the new uh low tier jobs of the future.
Yeah, yeah. Data analyst,
Mm,
ETL, exchange transfer and load. Those are your data analysts.
mm, okay.
They're pulling in data. They're using something called R. R is used in relational databases. Maybe Jeff will probably talk more about that in the chat. Um, you use that to disseminate the information, to gather information. So
Okay.
Let me look at the chat real quick. Michael Holt. Though the general populace is ignorant of data sales, do you see government regulation on this in the future? In the United States, not necessarily in the future, because a lot of the states actually make money selling your data too. So that would mean that they would have to give up the couple $1,000,000. I think I've read about Florida makes $4 million a year off of selling data. The
Mm.
state of Florida. You would think they have enough money already with all their their Orlando, theme parks and all this other stuff that goes on down there. But they seem to be hurting for money too. State of Texas is another one, another red state that likes to sell everyone's data.
Wow.
But I do think that the European Union's GDPR, which is General Data Protection Regulation, is actually going to put a stop to a lot of those things, because you have a lot of Europeans who travel to the United States and want to be forgotten, right? And that's Article 17 of GDPR says that that's kind of the stipulation that if they have a right to be forgotten. So if a member of the European Union, a resident of the European Union, wants his data deleted, then you have to delete their data. You can't just sell it. The United States is different. If it's profitable, if it could be propertized to make money off of, then there is no regulation behind that.
Mm.
Oh, Jeff says I'm not an expert in these topics. You're okay, buddy. But yeah, it's a big market. It's a big market, because prisons make money off of selling, prisoners' data, because you have no rights.
Yeah, you don't. You don't.
Now it's different for students, because you can't sell students' data because that stuff is protected, um, as well as their financial records. Plus they're underage, right? Especially elementary and middle school. They're not legally able to surrender their data.
Hmm. Hmm.
I heard they use darknet to funnel a lot of data, like credit card information. Yeah, they do. Um, it's cyber crime is a very profitable market. It's a multi-billion-dollar market. So credit card data is only a fraction of where the money is, where the revenue actually comes from in cybercrime, because credit cards can be turned off, can be terminated within minutes based on heuristics. So if I'm in Boston and somebody in Chicago is using my card, then what's going to happen is the system's not going to process that data. It's not going to process that payment, because it's in two different locations at the same time. It's impossible.
Right. And that's how. Yeah. I've known a couple people that happened to. Their credit cards get shut off sometimes. The credit card company takes a little bit of time and telling them that, hey, we shut your credit card down because of this.
Hmm. Well, Michael Holt asked a question. I guess it begs the question: how can we get into this business market? Set up your own tech company. I've been talking about tech co-ops on here since the beginning of the Black Brain Trust, and I think that's where Black men need to be focusing their efforts on, instead of trying to create this mega corporation or trying to compete with Facebook, because they have large venture capitalists that dump money into them, millions and millions of dollars. We don't have access to millions and millions of dollars, so you need to start your own co-op, a tech co-op. So
Hmm.
tech co-ops is where we need to be focusing on. Now let me see if I can find some of these Black Friday deals, or I should say Cyber Monday deals.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I saw edX did have some Cyber Monday deals.
Yeah, they had 15% off of all classes. So let me see if I can find. If I can open this up. How do I open this? Let me just share my screen. Here's one right here from CompTIA that was sent to me. A Cyber Monday deal worth the hype. Save over 30% with CompTIA bundles, deluxe bundles, CompTIA Cert Master Learn, online training, ebook study guides, exam vouchers plus one retake. If you fail exam, you get to have a free retake. This is another one you guys definitely signed up for CompTIA.
Okay.
Jeff in the chat asks, "What do you think of Nvidia?" I think Nvidia is I think Nvidia is a growing juggernaut. If they stay the pace, stay the course, then they'll actually they're actually going to reach leaps and bounds above that of where Intel is right now. I mean, their main competitor is actually AMD, but they're actually moving into different segments that AMD is not in currently. So they're focused on artificial intelligence on their chips. So they're talking about self-driving cars. Their chips are actually used for driving, for powering self-driving cars. So that's where the market is going. They're focusing on IoT. Keep it techie asks, did we like the logo? Yeah, we did like the logo. We're actually discussing it now, so stand by. Oh, here's another one from Cisco. That came into my inbox. So here's Cisco Learning Network Store. Cyber Monday is here. They don't say how much the deals were. I think it's a variety of deals. If you're going to do your CCNA and stuff like that, then that's where you're that's where you're going to be looking.
Mm-hmm.
What else did I have?
Yeah, the only one I saw was really looked at was the edX one.
Okay.
I saw they had that discount for Cyber Monday.
Yeah, I didn't feel like that was a big. I didn't feel like that was a big discount, right? 15%. That's like a Thanksgiving deal. I feel like that should have been like 35 to 40%, like some of these other stuff that we're seeing. It should be like 1/3 off, not 15% off. But I guess relative to the fact that you get it for free, it actually EDX is already a discount in itself. So
Yeah, make it enticing.
right.
Yeah, I'm gonna that EDX is it's nice.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull that up for those who may not even understand what we're talking about. EDX. See. Unless you. Oh, okay, I got it. Yep. So this is EDX. Cyber Monday deal. Completing the course, 15% off. Micromasters programs, professional certificate programs, data science programs. What we were just talking about, Cambridge Analytica. That's all data science. Business courses, computer science programs. So I'll drop that in the chat for you guys. I know. Did you buy any books, anything like that?
Um,
Cheap books?
I didn't. I'm going to buy a book, Dollar Will. It's a technical analysis book Dollar Will was telling me about. I'm going to purchase that. But any other books, I did not. Did you?
I got a couple of tech books. So one is Linux for penetration testing. So this is for cybersecurity, and I got a AWS cloud security book. So
Okay.
now blockchain. There's still a few blockchain discounts for some of the classes and stuff like that, but I haven't really jumped too much into those. I didn't want to spend too much money, right? I just kind of want to hold off on that because I didn't see that big of a deal. It was only like 20 or so percent off.
Oh, you're talking about for edX?
No, this is for Blockchain Council.
Okay. Okay. Mm.
Yeah, so we're in the open mic session. So if anybody wants to bring up something in the chat, then go right ahead. I saw Jack Charles in the chat too. So if he wants to get on, hopefully he has a link. Or if anybody in the chat wants to get on and needs the link, let us know. Put your email in the chat.
Yeah, man, it's all good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Now, I made a purchase a few weeks ago, buying the OnePlus 6T. So far, so good. I think that the phone is actually phenomenal. It's very powerful. You know, I touch something, it opens up immediately, no lag. Um, it feels like a mini computer, basically, like a mini
Oh,
desktop.
really?
Yeah, it's just really, really powerful. I have like multiple tabs open, multiple applications open, I should say. Um, Instagram, YouTube going in the background. Uh, you know, bar charts in the background. You know, calculating. You know, where my Bitcoin and stuff like that is going to be at, where my cryptocurrency is going to be at. Um, I use it to unlock my laptop too because it has the feature Android
Okay.
to Chrome. So as long as my phone is sitting in my pocket, it unlocks the laptop for me, um, or it unlocks my tablet, I should say.
Oh man. My, yeah, I'm already was going to go to Android, but yeah, like everything you said, you know, this type of stuff that Apple don't not going. They nickel and dime you on these on this stuff, and that's one of the things I'm tired about Apple.
Hmm.
Tired with about Apple.
Yep. My battery charges in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I can get like a full battery charge.
What?
My
That's
headphones, my Bluetooth headphones actually unlock the phone too. So as long as my Bluetooth headphones are close to on my head, it actually locks the phone.
that's crazy. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Same
yeah.
thing. Yeah, same thing on my Android smartwatch. It actually unlocks it unlocks the phone. So
I like that. I like that.
yeah, I got YouTube TV with it, so I get to see all the regular Comcast channels or cable channels. Um, I don't even use it. I mean, I use it for like sports, baseball and basketball and football. But outside of that, I don't really watch TV that much. So it just made a lot of
Mhm.
sense to have YouTube TV on my phone.
Yeah, outstanding. I like that. Yeah, I'm going to Android. Yeah, just the pure amount of features that it offer compared to Apple is incomparable.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. What else? What else has this done? Um, hmm. Oh, I pay for my food, my phone too. It's just kind of like
That's
my
cool.
yeah, my PayPal and everything is all integrated into the phone. So
That's cool.
hmm yeah, but all in all, compared to the Pixel 3 from Google,
Mhm.
this is almost half the price. So I only paid $5.99 for this. The Pixel is like $9.99. So
Uh,
plus I got a couple of cases to go with it. It comes with a couple of cases, so it got a textured case on the back of it that's coarse, so it's like not slippery. It has a lot of
mm,
grip to it. It feels good in my hand. It's not too big. I can move my thumb around from left to right, touch all my applications. Um, what else? Yeah, it just feels like a little mini desktop.
I like that.
Very powerful. Everything I touch, it just moves. It just goes, and it never lags. It only and it got 3 updates so far. Like the first time I took it out the box, there was an update ready for it, so I just updated it before I even put my SIM card in there. And then like a week later, maybe 10 days later, there was another update, and then it had another update last night. So um, so far so good. It fixed a lot of issues that I didn't even know was there. Um, take pictures, image processing, so better it has better camera capabilities now, especially at night, shooting at night. Um, selfies are better. Uh, what else? Battery management too. I can go a couple of days on the battery without even charging it, and when I need to
Really?
charge it, yeah,
That's
when I need to
nice.
charge it, I just plug it in, and I get like maybe 80% charge in 20 minutes.
That's nice. That's a nice that because that battery is man.
Hmm
You don't want to run out of battery.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
I'm gonna have to look into that one because my contract with Sprint is up soon, so I'm gonna look into that.
Yeah, it's
I'm
unlocked too. It's unlocked. So I bought my phone straight from the website OnePlus.com.
hmm
I think they had a Black Friday sale too, or a Cyber Monday sale. Yeah, it was Black Friday, so they had it half off. It was three 99 for the
Okay.
OnePlus 6. So regular price is 6.99.
Okay. Yeah, Yeah, I'm look into that.
Hmm.
Deviating from Apple. I'm leaving. I'm I'm leaving the island.
Oh yeah, how you gonna take your music with you from iTunes?
I listen to music on YouTube.
Oh yeah, you cheap ass.
Yeah, and I had it is kind of cheap. And I had the Apple Music, so I didn't purchase music from iTunes.
Hmm. Yep, I like the way it integrates with Google's Chromecast and Google Home. So simplistic. So just syncs right in. It finds all your devices and just connects right to it.
Mm,
Yep, I got it
that sounds
connected
pretty
to
cool.
my Philips Hue. So
Oh man, I gotta give me some Philips Hue light, man.
yeah,
I
man.
gotta get
So
that.
as soon as I get close to home, the lights start to dim and they start to brighten up
Uh,
when you walk into the house.
oh, that's nice. They got the strips now. Well, the strips are made for outside. I'm pretty sure you use inside, but that's nice. That's nice.
Right, right, right.
I like that.
Check out the chat. What's going on? Hey, what's going on, Reynolds? He says I use ASUS C302 Chromebook for all my needs. I'm the same way too. I got away from Microsoft. I once I bought the HP Chromebook, I left everything behind. If I
Hmm.
want Microsoft Office, I have Microsoft Office 365, so that works right on the Chromebook. There's really nothing on Windows that I need. I don't have an antivirus protection on my Chromebook because I don't really need it. It does Linux. I enabled Linux on it, so I can run Linux applications on it and do some development, run code. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. Keep it techie. One of those phones are actually great. They are actually probably the best phones on the market. I like it better than the Samsung. The Samsung is really clumsy with all the software it has on it. It's not a pure experience. This is more like a roadster. Um,
Hmm.
Christopher Sanders says I got an S8 for work and an iPhone for personal. See the thing about yeah, the One Plus, I can have two SIM cards in there at once and basically have a work and home number on one phone, and I can text from one phone to two different numbers. So I can have like a work phone number, and then I could have a my home personal phone number. You know, that type of deal.
Okay. Okay.
And I have two different data plans, but it's separated. So
Yeah. That man. That sound nice, man.
yeah, let me actually drop the link in the chat. Marquise Brownlee says he loves it. So
Oh well. Oh, if he said it, man, it's a wrap.
hmm
If he said it, man, that's all you need. Him and your average consumer.
yeah, and the other cat in New York with the beard.
Mm, I don't know what you're talking about.
Um, I'll see if I can find his name real quick. Oh, Unbox Therapy.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's why I got that deal from that wallpaper TV.
Mine doesn't support Linux. Yeah, the Chromebook 70 update. it doesn't allow that flexibility on all Chromebooks unless you have an Intel processor on it. So that's the biggest difference. Mine's fortunately has the core Intel Core M processor on it, so it's relatively fast and it does have a long battery life. But it does get hot though if I'm doing something, if I'm doing too many tasks at once.
Mm.
But it detaches from the keyboard, so it runs around like a tablet, and I can use it as an ebook reader too. So yeah, Pixelbook is really expensive compared to my HP Chromebook. But they did have the Pixelbook on sale this weekend for Black Friday. I think it was like $500 or something like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for that uh, Chromebook or Surface. Um, yeah, either one of those. Well, maybe Chromebook because it has more of an ecosystem.
Yeah, yeah, but I think we're gonna wrap it up for right now. We broke 500 subscribers. We're actually at 601. Over the weekend, we were only stuck at 452 or something like that, or 455. But now we're at 601. So we've reached our goal of 500. So we're now at 601. So
Mm.
yeah, yeah. Keep it techie says just get a nice laptop and put Linux on it. It's not the same because the battery management feature is not there for a real laptop. I mean, just slapping Linux on it is not always the most optimal thing to do. If you just want to use Linux, then you just want to use Linux. But the idea of using a Chromebook is because of the ecosystem itself, like Lionel was saying. So you can enable the Linux IDE portion because it has that capability because it's built on Linux. But for everything else, I just need to do most of my Google stuff. So
Mm.
which a Linux laptop is not going to do.
I'm gonna have to mute up for a few minutes here.
Yeah, but thank you all for joining us. We'll be back on Wednesday for episode 99 on geopolitics. We are out.